When you grow old, life slows down in ways you never expect. The house that once echoed with laughter turns silent, the phone rings less, and the faces you raised become strangers in photos. Still, I never blamed anyone. My daughter, Emily, was my world, my reason to wake up each morning after her mother passed. I thought the bond between a father and daughter could never fade. But time has a cruel way of showing you how wrong you can be. Emily was everything her mother and I ever dreamed of: smart, kind, full of light. I worked long hours, skipped vacations, and wore the same pair of shoes for years just to save for her education. When she got married, I cried quietly in the back row, proud and heartbroken at the same time. I told myself I wasn't losing a daughter, just sharing her with someone new. But little did I know, that someone new would slowly take her away from me. At first, it was small things. Missed calls. Delayed replies. "Sorry, Dad, we're busy this weekend." I understood, or at least I pretended to. I didn't want to be the father who complains about attention. I'd tell myself, she'll call tomorrow. But tomorrow came and went, again and again. Every day, the distance between us grew. Not the kind you measure in miles, but the kind that creeps into your heart until silence feels normal. Last year, I started saving for something special. I wanted to give Emily and her husband a gift, something unforgettable. I found a luxury cruise package, a trip that would circle the Caribbean in style. It cost me $85,000, nearly all my savings. But I didn't care. I imagined her smile when she found out. For months, I planned every detail: the cabins, the excursions, even a surprise dinner under the stars. I thought, maybe this trip would bring us close again. When everything was booked, I finally texted her. "Emily, pack your bags," I wrote, "I've planned a surprise for the three of us." She replied almost instantly, "Oh my God, Dad. You didn't have to. You're the best." I could almost hear her laugh through the message. For a moment, I felt young again, alive again. I stayed up late that night, looking at the cruise pictures online, imagining us laughing like we used to. I didn't know that dream was about to shatter. The next afternoon, my phone buzzed again. I smiled, expecting excitement. Instead, I saw words that felt like a knife in my chest. "Dad, I talked to Mark. He thinks it's better you don't come." That was it. No explanation. No apology. Just those few cold words. I read the message again and again, hoping I misunderstood. But there it was, simple, final, cruel. I sat on the edge of my bed, phone in hand, feeling smaller than I had in years. You'd think anger comes fast, but it doesn't. Not when you're old. Instead, it's replaced by quiet disbelief, a slow, dull ache that spreads through your chest. I didn't reply. I didn't ask why. I just stared at the ticket confirmations on my desk, the ones with her name printed proudly next to mine. I imagined how her husband must have said it, maybe dismissively, maybe just selfishly. Whatever the reason, my daughter had agreed. And somehow, that hurt the most. That night, I logged into the travel website. My fingers trembled as I opened the cancellation page. The agent on the phone asked softly, "Are you sure, sir? It's a beautiful trip." I smiled, even though she couldn't see me, and said, "It's okay, ma'am. Some journeys aren't meant to happen." I canceled everything. I sat quietly afterward, staring at the screen's dull glow, feeling the weight of years pressing down. I didn't cry. Sometimes sadness runs too deep for tears. That I made myself tea and sat by the window, listening to the city hum outside. Every car, every sound reminded me of how alive the world still was, and how distant I'd become from it. I thought about Emily as a little girl, running through the sprinklers in our backyard, yelling, "Daddy, look." I'd give anything to hear that again. Now, all I had was her message, short, cold, final. It's strange how love can shrink down to a single sentence. The next morning, I found another text from her. Dad, I hope you're not mad. It's just, complicated. I typed back, no, sweetheart. I just want you to be happy. My fingers hovered over the send button for a long time before I pressed it. Afterward, I deleted her number, not out of anger, but because I couldn't keep waiting for a message that might never come. It's easier to live with silence when you stop checking if it's broken. Days turned into weeks. The tickets were refunded, the plans forgotten. I filled my time with small things, gardening, fixing the old clock, talking to her mother's photo. Sometimes, I'd tell her, our little girl grew up, but maybe too far. The house felt emptier than ever. I'd catch myself setting 3 plates at dinner before remembering there was no one left to join me. That's what loneliness does, it teaches you to unlearn habits built on love. Then one Sunday morning, I heard a knock at the door. I opened it and froze. Emily stood there, eyes red, face pale, holding her phone. She looked smaller somehow, fragile, like the child she once was. Dad, she whispered, I didn't know he sent that message. He told me afterward. He said it would be better without you, and I didn't stop him. I'm so sorry. Her voice cracked, and the tears came. I didn't speak. I just held her. We sat together for hours, saying little. I listened as she told me how her husband had changed, how he'd slowly turned her against the people who truly cared. He made me believe I needed permission to love my own father, she said, trembling. I stroked her hair like I did when she was small and whispered, you never needed permission for that. Forgiveness isn't given in words. It's found in moments like these, when pain and love exist side by side. A few weeks later, she left him. She called me one night, her voice steady this time. Dad, I've moved out. I'm staying with a friend for now. I told her I was proud of her, but she already knew. We started talking every day again, small things at first, then real things. She told me, I forgot what it felt like to be loved without having to earn it. That night, I finally slept peacefully. The silence had lifted. Now, every morning, Emily visits. We walk by the lake near my house, feed the ducks, talk about everything and nothing. We never mention that message or the trip. Some things don't need to be relived. I still have that $85,000 credit sitting unused, but it doesn't matter. I don't need a cruise to feel rich. Watching my daughter smile again is worth more than any vacation. In the end, love doesn't fade with age, it just waits patiently to be remembered.